Good morning, everyone. Welcome once again. So glad to have you guys back with us. Man, every day y'all show up. It's always a pleasure. Hey, check it out. We got Rex Balance back in the house. What's up, dude? How's it going? Don Lake's here, ready to go. Nick Nicholas, always in his poised and ready position to attack the day. How you doing, Nick? What's going on, brother? You doing good? Right on, man. Right on. All right. Kelly Dutton in the house, as always. Always a pleasure to have Kelly here, closing all those crazy, weird loans that we send her way. Man, she's on a roll right now. She's got stuff closing like crazy. It's nuts. Just absolutely nuts. Let's see. Marty Guy Fink running around there. Got her hair flying in the air. Jerry McGuire's in the house. Brad Atwood's here. Dave Bolton. Tammy Juggling's here. Jungling. I can't say it. I'm bad. All right. George is with us. Oh, Monica Ledbetter, of course. She's probably closing a deal right now. It's on the computer. Just like... And she looks nice, but she's typing, I said fund it now, with 4 exclamation points. That's what's going on over there. Mm-hmm. Can't fool me. Paul Owen. What's going on, Paul? Right when I said that, it zoomed in on your face. That was pretty cool. It's like I meant to do that. It's like Jen's producing the show, and she's, zoom in on Paul. All right. Chris Isles, what's up, man? It's been a minute. How are you? Good to see you. Asa Murray. I don't know why I'm just floating around. Angelo, my guitar playing buddy. What's going on, Angelo? Playing any gigs lately? Got anything cooking? No? No, not lately. All right. Yeah, me either. All right, cool, man. Well, let's see. How was yesterday?
If anyone is down in the Naples area this Saturday night, we're going to be playing down there.
Naples. Nice.
The name of the band is Network.
Network. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Hey, you know we haven't done in a while, Frank? We haven't asked if there's any first-timers here.
Oh, yeah, we have not done that in a while. Yeah. Well, if there are, let us know. If you're here for the first time, we'd love to say good morning to you. Who knows? If you're here for the first time and, you're bold enough to raise your hand and say hi and unmute your mic, I'll give you a T-shirt.
Ooh,
I'll give you a Lone Officer Breakfast Club T-shirt. That's right. These are pretty cool. Now, these are real game changers when you get them, just so you know. They're somewhat mystical, aren't they, Kristen?
They are.
They're somewhat mystical. So,
and maybe not the first time, but maybe you're newer to us.
Yeah, newer.
I see some new names. I see some faces that I don't recognize.
Okay. Well, come on, man. Who wants a T-shirt? Let's get it on. Let's give one away. Who doesn't have one and wants one? Raise your hand. Whoever starts talking to me is going to get one. Maybe they're just not that popular.
All right, I'm still waiting on my T-shirt.
Oh, Here we go. Bruce showed up.
Yeah.
Bruce.
Hey guys. Yeah.
The temptation was too great, wasn't it? The temptation was too great. I broke you, man. I broke you down.
You broke me.
Yeah. What's going on, Bruce?
I'm back from Florida. I was in Florida for a month and joined up, so I've been off and on here. But I'm back in Kansas City, which is where I'm normally at, and 7:30 a.m. came pretty early this morning, but I'm here.
Well, I would say you've absolutely earned it then. You have earned the T-shirt, so congratulations, my friend. The team will reach out to you some way, somehow. It does show up in an armored car. So that's a little weird. So it's, you'll see Amazon, FedEx, armored vehicle. That's the T-shirt. So let your significant other know not to be alarmed. Yeah, when you get that shirt, don't forget it's going to be a pretty. I always recommend don't wear it a full day. Like wear it for 30 minutes. Because it can get away from you. I mean, everything can just get away from you.
Ease your way into it.
Ease your way into it, yeah, because it's pretty powerful stuff. So, all right, cool, man. Well, we've given away a T-shirt already this morning. Let's see. Hey, did Robyn make it in?
Yes. She's here.
Robyn LaVassaur? You are? Hey! What's going on? How are you?
That's a fancy name. I'm good. I'm actually in Cancun, Mexico for our President's Club peak performers. So,
Really?
you can't really complain at that, right?
Cancun. I haven't done Cancun. I've only been to Mexico a couple times. I'm going to tell you, I wasn't a real fan of it. I know a lot of people really love it. My mother and my stepfather, oh my gosh, they love it. They love going down there. But for some reason, I wasn't a fan.
Yeah, I think some people it's interesting. Some people have never been, and other people like go nonstop. I mean, we see people that are, So I go back and forth. I love warm weather. When you're from Oregon, you'll take anything in February, right?
Yeah. What's the other great spot? There's that other real popular. It wasn't Cancun I went to. It was the other one. It's kind of
Cabo.
like what was it?
Cabo San Lucas.
That was it, Eric. Yeah, you're right. That was it. Cabo. It was pretty cool. I mean, the hotel was amazing. The pools were crazy cool. Like the swimming pools were great. And then they had a little restaurant bar right next to it on the beach called The Office. So you went to The Office.
I've heard of that before.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been to The Office, but I've been to Cancun, to Cabo. And I think I like Cabo. My husband prefers Cancun, turquoise water, all of that. I prefer Cabo. West Coast time zone, a little closer.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. And then, so they had this guy in there, this guy that walks around. His name is Rambo, right? And he's wearing what is it called? Where you put the bullets in? Bandolera? Is that what it is? Or what is that thing called? Where normally they have this big leather straps and stuff with bullets, but his is stuff with shot glasses. So it's just, he's got this thing. He's got all these shot glasses, and he walks around with tequila. And he doesn't even use the shot glasses. He just approaches typically gals, right? Typically gals, grabs them by their hair, brings their head back, and just pours tequila in their face. That's what he was doing. Not even kidding. And they do
Only in Mexico.
Yeah, and they do it. Like the ladies are like, oh, okay. I'm drinking tequila. It's hilarious. He is pretty funny. So anyway, well, all right. So we've given away a T-shirt. Yesterday was kind of fun for those who were here yesterday. I think we had a good time. Yeah, we talked about some good stuff. And but today we do have Robyn with us, and we want to get to her. But before we get there, I mean, I just feel like Allison Foy has to give us a win. I mean, I can just see you just dying to just give us some sort of a win, man. Something that you're just super stoked about that's going on right now. What is it?
I'm leaving for Antarctica on Saturday.
Are you seriously going to Antarctica?
Antarctica. Yep, a 10-day cruise.
Wow.
So I'm ready.
Antarctica, Cancun on one breakfast club. Very, very interesting. So I didn't even know they do cruises down in Antarctica. They do? What a trip. Yep. Wow.
Gonna do the polar plunge.
Well, no, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Really?
So we're gonna have.
I mean, she's way more brave than me. There's not a chance polar plunging over here.
In Antarctica. In the polar plunge in Antarctica.
Yeah, not happening.
Yeah. Not a chance. Yep.
Them some bragging rights right there.
I mean, that's pretty cool, Allison. That's pretty cool.
That's a good adventure right there.
Well, congrats. That's coming up here. So good for you, man. Get some pictures. Put them in the Breakfast Club Facebook group. I'd like to see that. Be interesting to see. If you're getting value from this already, go ahead and tap that like button. It helps more loan officers find content that actually makes a difference. And hey, if staying ahead of the market and learning what's really working in our industry matters to you, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss another episode. We read every comment, so drop your thoughts down below. We'd love to hear from you and know what's working or what you'd like us to cover next. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you here next time. So, all right. Well, I think we should get rolling. We've got pretty much plenty of people rolled in here at this point in time, and we do have Robyn here. So let's go ahead and get to Robyn LaVassaur. So, Robyn, you've been taking us through like this 90-day exercise, like if I was dropped out of an airplane into a new market, like what would I do to get things rolling? That sort of thing. And this is great because it doesn't just apply to like if I'm a beginner, a newbie, it applies across the board, right? So it could be I'm just getting started, or it's like, man, I've been doing this a long time. I just need a refresh here. I need a reboot, even if I'm doing pretty good. I could get to the next level as well. And the things that you are helping us with apply to all that across the board. So we're glad to have you here today and take your time out of Cancun. I'm sure you have better things to do, like eating a shrimp cocktail down by the pool or something like that. But sipping on a margarita. But you're here with us, so thanks.
No, listen, no place I'd rather be. No place I'd rather be than talking loans, sir. Can you guys hear me? Okay, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, we got
good.
you.
I had to re-download my Zoom on my phone, and anyways,
No worries.
Mexico stuff. So, yeah. So, talking about what to do in the first 90 days, we did go through a few different things. One of the things that I've heard, and I always like to talk about what loan officers might be dealing with present, and one of the things that I love is an assessment that you can do kind of every single week, and really it's almost a daily assessment. And so I'll go through it with you real quick because it's the fastest gut check and solve to the problem that will keep the emotions out of it and lead to hopefully logic and then action steps. And so at any given time as a loan officer slash originator, and I really believe those are two roles that we have to play. Like loan officers really have to be in the files, those things, but we can't be a loan officer working on the loan unless we have originated, right? So we've got to get out there and originate. And so I've talked to a lot of loan officers in the last here, what are we, 45-ish days into the year, maybe 50 days into the year. And they have said, gosh, a lot of them had great January. So one of the questions that I have, you guys can kind of put it in the chat, is how many of you guys hit your lead goal in January? How many of you hit your conversion goal of those leads? And I'll define conversion real quick. And that is that you pull credit or get an actual application, documents, those things on 80% of the lead goal that you had. And then a lot of loan officers started to say, hey, I'm kind of freaking out. They either had a good January and have a very dismal February or not much of a March building, or they had a bad January, they were building February. Everyone had a little bit of opposite problems, if you will. Some are hitting lead goal by a mile. Some have come up short on the leads. Here's what I would tell you: at any given time in your business, and this helped me so much not get lost in all the things that happen to us, on the daily in our business or that aren't happening at all. You have one of three different areas that you need to focus on. And the fastest checklist that I go through is, one, where am I at on my leads? And I talked about that, I think on the previous call or maybe the call before that, just about how many leads you're getting and are you aware? And I'll give you the simple math again. If you want to close, let's say 5 loans consistently a month, I believe this is a little harder market. So the typical would be 25 leads is what you would need. The adjustment to that, I would say, is 30 leads with an 80% pull through. And if you do that 90 days in a row, whatever you measure needs 90 days of measurement, which I also think that I know that I really struggled with that. I was reactionary week to week or month to month, and I would change things before I ever let them really play out and give it. And so you need 90 days of data to say, gosh, I'm so busy, I do need to hire somebody, or I'm not busy enough and maybe I need to let somebody go. Hey, the market, things really have shifted and I need this activity that I it's not working, but 90 days worth of data. And sometimes I would personally give it a day, give it a week. I would do a video, I would do something, and I would expect an outcome. And if I didn't get that outcome, it would often fall off the radar. And so I don't know if any of you guys are guilty of that, but that was a big thing. And that 90-day mark helped me a bunch. And so we're thinking about, okay, did I hit my lead goal? So at any given time, and I like it daily, I like lead knowledge every single day. because it just helped me tremendously go from 25 to 50 to 50 to 75 to 75 to 100. And when you're doing that without fail, I hit over 4.5 year run without missing 100 leads. And that absolutely transformed my business. And what I recognized was starting with the beginning led to the consistent results that I wanted. But if I was always focused on the end, I was doing all sorts of crazy things trying to get there, meaning the close of the check and the transaction, if you will. And so let me go through the 3 areas that help me keep myself in check at any given time. Obviously, leads, I just talked about that. Lead conversion. Those are the you either don't have enough leads or you don't have enough conversion. That's a very simple thing to look at. And I want to define real quick, it's warm leads. So if someone just sent you their list of all the Zillow leads that they have as an agent, those are not warm leads. And so clarification on what those leads really are matters. I did definitely follow up on Zillow leads and those kind of things if I wasn't busy, but they were on a side lead tracker. I never counted them unless I spoke to the lead into my main lead tracking. So just reference for that for a second, because I think it matters. The second place, so lead generation, lead, conversion. After that, they should go into a number of pre-approval, right? A number of pre-approvals. After you get applications, you should have a pre-approval pipeline. This is a struggle area. And I don't know, how many of you guys right now have an ample amount of pre-approved buyers that just haven't bought? They're just on the sidelines. And I think that a lot of people have pre-approvals that maybe are not getting into contract. And if we think about it from a consumer standpoint, you see people get excited, maybe go out house shopping and maybe spend it, and then all of a sudden their family's on vacation. They didn't see any inventory they liked. And they lose momentum just like everybody else, right? People lose momentum. Even buying a house, as much as you go, yes, I have a plan to, that plan can become inconvenient or an afterthought if they feel discouraged, they lose momentum in the process. And so then you have the pre-approval issue that you should focus on. If you don't have enough contracts, you focus first in the pre-approval space, right? If you don't have enough pre-approvals, you focus in the conversion space. If you don't have enough conversion, you've got to focus in the lead space. And so you can work that little chain, if you will, backwards and forwards, and it will help you tremendously. And so one of the things that I say about pre-approval pipeline is your engagement matters tremendously. And if you have a massive pre-approval pipeline, you might be closing 4 in February, but you very well could hit 12 in March, April, if you have a huge pre-approval pipeline. It just, and I'm just giving random numbers right now. But the biggest piece of that, how many of you guys have pre-approved someone, felt like everything was in a really good space, and enough of them send over a contract when they're ready, those kind of things. But some, you don't ever hear from them again. And then if you follow up, they've already gotten into contract, they, something else happened. And so are you following up with your pre-approval pipeline? And I'll give you some basics to it, because this is I think it's an inconsistent, like, we follow up with a quick text, let me know if you need anything, how's house shopping going? And the truth is, we hold the keys any given time to keeping their momentum, including the realtor. And it's a great selling point with your referral partners and the client to kind of play the key point on the triangle, if you will, to make things keep going in terms of buying the home. Maybe they found a house, they planned on putting 20% down, and the agent, of course, is thinking transaction. So, hey, we're writing an offer. It's a $400,000 home. You're putting 20% down. Here's the financing. This is, can we get a pre-approval letter? And of course, we accommodate. And the seller comes back and they get into a battle, and all of a sudden they don't end up buying that house. Well, in their mind, they're thinking, we really could have remodeled the kitchen. Hey, rates changed. We can go to a 90%, keep your payment in a great spot, and you could have funds to remodel the kitchen. But I'm not engaged enough in my pre-approval pipeline and all the inner workings. I'm simply accommodating pre-approval letters and quick check-ins on how house hunting's going. And that's like lightly watering a field that you planted. but not truly hoping that the fruit comes to fruition, right? That corn's going to grow all the way through. And so we have to assist at a much higher level when we are running low on contracts. Obviously, in order to do all these things, you have to have a tracking mechanism so that you can dive back into wherever your struggle is. And so, the pre-approval pipeline always matters. If it's not very big, it's a much faster check-in, which means you have more time to go back to the beginning and lead generate more, or convert more. If it's gigantic, you should, yes, still lead generate, yes, still lead convert, but those are possibly lighter activities. You might dedicate 2 full days to just massive pre-approval engagement, because that will move things forward. And so I love to take an assessment I like to them daily, like I said, and just literally do an assessment. Where are we currently lacking? And I call it juggling. Which ball are you keeping? You want all the balls in the air at all times, but where, and then there's obviously, hey, I got the contracts, I have to move those files forward. So 4 balls in the air all the time. And what, knock on wood, hopefully should happen is once you've moved that file forward, you're still, your main 3 balls that have to stay in the air are how engaged you are in leads, conversion, and pre-approval pipeline.
I'm sitting here thinking I'm listening to everything Robyn's saying, and I'm like taking it all in. I'm like, oh my gosh, how important is it to just know these numbers and to really take an assessment of it? Because you could be trying to fix something that's not broken.
Yeah.
Correct.
True.
If you don't know this, I have a question for you, Robyn. Bill in the chat says, I've got 71 pals. So 71 pre-approvals. Like, what a huge, I look at that, I'm like, wow, that's a huge opportunity. So when you mention about, like, typically pals would be our Thursday activity, right, Robyn? So we call it approved and looking, we check in on them, we see what their plans are for the weekend, and then we call the partner, because it gives us a great reason to have that conversation and find out what they've got going on for the weekend. But when you say, hey, I might take 1 or 2 days and really dive deep, can you give a few examples of what you would do?
Yeah, you bet. So, and let me set the stage for you guys so that we get out of our own heads. The easiest thing that I started doing that made all the difference in the world was I set an expectation at each stage, what they could expect of me next. And here's the reason why. Just because they've already been approved with you, just because they've already done, an application and everything, we still, at least I did, maybe I'm a crazy one, right in my head, they'll call me if they need me. I still wrote in my head, I don't want to bother them. I don't want to be pushy. And when you have pre-approvals like that, so what I started doing at lead, at each step of the way, I would tell people, including the realtor partner, and I love this because it's self accountability, if you will, right? Because when you say words, you want to follow through on words, right? That's a very important piece, and it builds trust within yourself and confidence within yourself when you are being true to what you committed to. And so I would tell them, hey, we're going to call you every single week. And here's why. Things change every single week in the market, in the houses you see, in the activity that is or isn't happening. And we play a huge role, right? The money is the biggest role, unless you're paying 100% cash for a house, in the numbers working alongside the house being the one that you want. And so we're going to check in every single week. And if it's gone more than 6 weeks, we're going to reschedule a full, if you can spend 30 minutes, and we're just going to reassess where everything sits.
That's a good idea.
How committed? What's the timing, right? Like what do they want to create? Sorry, Frank, didn't mean to cut you off there, but just,
no, you didn't.
Having those conversations. And then, so Kristen, what I was doing was I would call, and literally I would block my day if I had to. 71, Bill, 71. You think about how long it would take you. That's probably 2 to 4, maybe even 5 days of in-depth phone calls with the clients, in addition to the agents and the referral partners, and talking about what have you seen that wasn't. And so here's the key is the questions, you guys. The questions come down to not, how's house hunting going? Do you need anything from me? Those are such basic I'm not, I don't even know how to respond to you, if you will. Those are such basics. And or yes or no, everything's good, everything's fine, just haven't seen anything, okay, keep me posted, those conversations. What a difference it would say is, tell me about the last time you went out looking at houses with Susan. Oh, we saw a few, okay. Tell me what you liked and didn't like. I'm sure you've gone through some of this, how'd you feel, what was, I mean, when you talk about some things, you drag out information, and it allows themselves to verbal process. And all of a sudden you can find ways to navigate into more of a solution mode. Everything we've seen, there's nothing there. Well, maybe we stretch again and look at rates of, shifted each day. Let's look at what's $25,000 more in price range do for you? What's coming down? We've been so stressed about the payment, and that has us uncomfortable. Okay, maybe we come down, maybe we make an adjustment here. There are so many things. It turns out we can't find anything in the school's neighborhood. It turns out that, and some, yes, are going to sit on the sidelines. But when you say, hey, it's so hard, buyers, I saw a comment on there, buyers are going to shop. If you're talking and guiding somebody every single week, and you're becoming a confidant, if you will, and a brain surgeon close is what I like to call it. You're really their encyclopedia of lending. You're full of curiosity and confidence and knowledge to help them navigate numbers. You become a trusted advisor rather than just that loan officer. And for them to all of a sudden think, I've spoken to you basically every single week, we've navigated a lot of things, you've given me an update on the market, the shopping it won't disappear, but it will go down tremendously with those kind of connections consistently.
Hey, just as a reminder, if you're enjoying Loan Officer Breakfast Club here on YouTube, you can catch our live shows. The live shows are really cool because there's oftentimes downloads and giveaways. It's really, really fun. To subscribe, you simply go to loanofficerbreakfastclub.com. That's loanofficerbreakfastclub.com. Subscribe and join us on our live shows. They're 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. Hope to see you there.
That help a little bit?
It helps a lot.
We're all just quiet for a second because
the chat people are just really enjoying all this. I tell you, the pre-approved and looking thing, I'm curious too, just for you guys, like how many pre-approved and lookings do you believe you have in the pipeline? Put that number in the chat. Just really curious to see that. And I got to tell you, the pre-approved and looking day, Thursday, and checking in on the pre-approved and lookings is so huge because we don't ever want to slack on any of our theme days, right? We want to make sure we devote our 2 hours to doing our theme days because they're all so critically important. Because I tell you, man, I've been guilty of it, and I'm sure a lot of us here are. It's, I haven't done my pals, or I only got through some of them. I didn't get through all of them, that kind of a thing. And then you come to find out a little bit later that, well, golly, 3 of them bought without me. You know what I mean? And why? Because they were talking to someone else. That's always the answer. Like, if you can ever dig in, like, I'm just curious, how come we didn't do it together? Well, I just was talking to somebody else. And next thing you know, they caught them at the right time when you could have. You just didn't put the time in to stay in touch. So there's some big numbers there for pre-approved and lookings that we got. Like even Angela, 33, it's a lot of people, it's a lot of people that we've done the work. We got the deal in the system. We've got the credit run. We're pre-approved. These are ones we really want to stay in touch with in a big way. And I like Robyn too, like you said, the tracking and monitoring. If I don't have enough contracts, right. Well, I need to really kind of pay attention to the pre-approved and looking side of things. And what is it there? Do I not have enough of them, or am I just not converting, or not enough of them converting? And when we say not enough of them are converting, are they converting and we just didn't get it? That's the question. Maybe they are converting and we're just missing them because we're not following up properly, right? And having those deeper conversations. People love that, by the way. They love that.
Well, and those things that Robyn mentioned that we all have floating around in our head. I don't want to bother them. They're busy, all those things. The remedy is, if Robyn said it, tell them, here's what you can expect from me and here's why. And it doesn't feel weird when you make the call. You've committed to something. And when you follow up and do that, you're building trust with those folks and yourself. Like,
Dan har jag tagit en flökot.
We got it.
We're
Yeah.
speaking in tongues over here. We're so excited.
Yes,
Well,
indeed.
it's simpler than we make it in our head, and it's more important than we are taking in our actions. And I say that from a space that,
That's a
and
good
thank you
quote.
guys for saying it, right? Like, it's when we're saying, when we're doing, I think we have them in check-ins because they're on a drip in a CRM, because we did send the pre-approval,
Right.
because we talked to the agent, but it didn't talk to the client. You guys, how many of you guys love it when agents play lender? That,
Yeah.
you realize they're all, especially at our fingertips, they're calculating their own payments, they're calculating their own information, and you have to stay in a space. Like, I love it when doctors will say the first thing, do not go to WebMD, right? Do not believe everything you read on the internet. And it's no different with, hey, I'm just like, you wouldn't walk into a house and understand everything that was going on with the house without a great agent explaining the back notes, the history, the this, the that, the nuances. They have to see you as that same space. Otherwise, we become an order taker. And an order taker is boop, boop, boop. Yep, you can qualify. Boop, boop, boop. Yep, here's your payment. Boop, boop, boop. Yep, I can get you that interest rate. Let me know when you're ready. Oh, boop, boop, boop. Here's your potential loan package if you choose me. But my differentiation is fairly minimal. And it's so different when you decide to say, hey, I'm going to make sure that every seed that comes into my business, every seed, and that's any potential lead, man, am I going to water, sunshine, and grow that thing until it blooms, right? It's harvested, and then I'm still going to replant it. And that's a whole different topic of, all of a sudden you become a client, a past client, and what can we create off of that?
Great stuff. Greg, you got your hand up. What do you got?
Robin, I love this change at the look at Thursday calls. Do you have any other questions that come to your mind in terms of a way we can talk to the client that feels fresh, right? I love that idea of, like, last time you went on the house search, how are things with your agent? Any other questions that won't feel like we've asked them 40 times over, or are okay to ask 40 times over?
Yeah. So, I think a big piece of this is the questions we also dive into up front. And so one of the things that I love to ask up front is perfect timing. What's that, when people are like, I'm not in a hurry, those things. Well, we can create urgency, you guys, by asking things like, give me, like, really, let's dig into current living situation, not just, do you rent? Oh, you pay $1,200 a month or $2,000 a month. When you're saying, do you rent? It's what's your time frame of having to sign your next lease? What's your, and I think we forget to ask two more questions with every initial question we ask. And so my advisement there would be, not only what have you seen, those kind of things, how often are, you seeing inventory that you like or don't like? Have you thought about expanding? Tell me what's been most frustrating, what's been most promising. There's all sorts of things. And I would encourage you guys, use your AI, those kind of things, like, and ask it very specifically, not just questions, but ask it for open-ended questions that require more than a yes or no answer. And so I love the tell me about it, or if I've made a mistake and asked them for a yes or no question, my biggest switch to the yes or no, and I do it all the time to this day, I ask bad questions. I'll say, define that for me, or tell me more about that. The moment I catch myself getting a yes or a no or a good or just a one-word answer, I will immediately shift and say, tell me about that, or define that for me. Give me a little more information, and that will open somebody up further. And then you always want to be talking to so there's two people in charge, right? And in a marital couple, co-borrowers, there's often two people in charge, and it doesn't have to be, one generally is fixated more on what house, and one is generally more fixated on the numbers. And so in that case, do the extra work and don't be afraid to talk to both. And that's a mistake that I made for a very long time, is I didn't go to both arenas, if you will. Somebody's making decisions based on numbers alone, and somebody's generally making decisions on the back patio and the kitchen, right? And so you want to be able to talk to both, because coming together, and one generally has more influence than the other and is going to be the ultimate shot caller, but you can have influence there on how to navigate and keep everybody on the same page.
Oh man, that's so true.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's so true. And that's why on Tuesdays we call the borrower and the co-borrower, right, Robyn? Because one's going to be more apt to refer than the other too.
Totally true. Yep.
It's so true. It's you get a lot of different personalities, and one's a decision maker. Different class that we could do, just quick hit on this is just, how to define who the decision makers are, right? I mean, all of us have probably lost a first time home buyer because mom or dad used to be a realtor, a lender, and they're,
right.
3 states away, but they're ultimately making the decisions about the fee sheet you just gave them or whatever the case. So that's a whole other world.
Yeah, indeed. Well, great stuff, Robyn. Thanks so much. Enjoy your time down there in Cancun. What's on the schedule today? Anything? Or are you just going to lay around at the pool? What are you doing today?
Yeah, everyone got here last night, and so I'm gonna go, see all of our people and have a great afternoon. I'm a diehard card player. I don't know if any of you guys like to play cards. So
really?
One of my friends says she's got a new game that she needs to teach me. She's one of our top producers, and she said we'll all be hooked. So that scares me because I'm a little competitive. So we're gonna probably learn. It's some game named Mahjong. I don't know if you guys have ever played, but she's a big Mahjong. I think it's Mahjong. MAH. I think JONG.
I've heard of it. Yeah, I know it's very popular. Yeah, I don't know how to play it though.
Me either. So Frank, I'll let you know.
All right.
Something tells me on a top producers trip, you're not going to be the only one who's competitive, Robyn. So you have to let us know how far.
Right.
That's true. If I have a bloody
bar fights with the.
Yeah, if I have a bloody nose or a black eye next week, you guys will know what happened.
All right.
Yes.
Well, great stuff. Hey, wow. What a great day. Thank you, Robyn. Just very, very kind of you to show up and give us some great nuggets, man. Some gold. They were saying that was gold and nuggets in the chat. So really appreciate that. And just a great reminder for us on, everything you talked about today. Just the tracking, making sure we're watching our conversions and knowing, how to fix our problems. But the pre-approved and looking thing, a big deal. Very, very cool. Thank you, Robyn. Enjoy your time.
Yeah. You guys, thanks. Have a great day.
All right. See you later. Thanks so much.
Marty says, I can't wait for Florida. She says, I can't wait for Florida even more because Robyn will be joining us at the Clearwater event in 2 weeks.
Very cool.
So I know, same,
so
Marty.
Excited. So excited.
Very, very cool. Very, very cool. So tomorrow we're going to have a Kristen's Corner. What did we decide? There was a great question that came up, Kristen.
So I don't know if this has happened to any of you, but I've had a couple questions lately from folks who say, I have a realtor who sends me like a lot of stuff, but like I can't do anything with any of it. And I don't know what to do to have that conversation because I don't want to offend them. I don't want to totally turn that, that relationship off because maybe there will be something that I can work with. So what does that look like? So
that's
Frank,
a good thing to think about. It's a good question. So we will address that tomorrow here on the Loan Officer Breakfast Club. So with that, we'll go ahead and get on out of here. You guys, thanks for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it. Tell your friends and come back tomorrow. We'll see you then. Adios, guys.
Have a great day, everybody.